So, Leslie, I was having a cup of coffee with a couple of other leadership coaches this morning, as a matter of fact, telling them about the conversation that you and I were going to have and the content that we were going to cover, that we were going to talk about this thing called leadership coaching and this thing called executive coaching and try to help people better understand what they are. Because I'm finding in a lot of the conversations I'm having with prospective clients who are kind of intrigued by this process, they're just not really sure what it is, what it's all about. And it was interesting because these two other coaches I was having coffee with were like, how would you define those two things? So even amongst coaches, it's not entirely clear what we mean by leadership coaching and executive coaching and kind of what the difference is. So I'm so grateful for your willingness to have this conversation with me, and we'll try to bring a little bit more clarity to that critical component of this whole equation. So when you're describing to your clients or a prospective client this thing called leadership coaching, how do you frame it?
The difference lies in the horizon that leaders play. And the horizon line for executives is a whole lot longer. What I mean by that is a frontline manager with direct reports is going to be looking at immediate to maybe a month out, let's say, month or 3 months even. The higher up you go, the longer your horizon line is. And so at the executive level, you're probably looking at 10 to 20 years. It's a very strategic kind of a thing. And so you're looking at different things. You need different things, but you are still getting your work done through others, right? And so how are you enabling those senior leaders to enable their junior leaders to enable the people? So it's a different kind of a perspective, different horizon line.
I love that orientation around horizon. That really resonates. And so the work that we do with those senior leaders who have that responsibility for supporting the folks that report to them, what's the role that you play in supporting that senior leader, in helping them to be the best coach, the best leader that they can be?
Yeah. So it's my role to make them uncomfortable. I'm helping them to grow their self-awareness about their own wiring, to develop leadership EQ, which becomes their leadership superpower, right? It starts with the individual. I'm also helping them to attain the goals that are on their shoulders, that they're responsible for, and how to really find efficiency, how to inspire staff, how to get out of their own way while they're doing that. And then thirdly, to make those human connections, right? To build relationships with people that are actually touching the customer, the people that are holding your balance sheet while they're building relationships with your customers. Those are the people. And how do we do that, right? How do we connect with them, not just as workers, but as human beings? So I'm helping them to build new muscles, to build new awareness, to create better connections, and to have that one eyeball on strategic and one eyeball on culture.
I love it. I want to unpack with you a couple of concepts that you've talked about. Awareness. Awareness is one, and this idea of discomfort is another one. So the awareness piece is so crucial because really change can't truly happen until we become aware of the need for it, right? So that seems to be that absolutely fundamental front end. So what's the role of the coach in helping the leader to gain that new awareness that then triggers the change or sets the direction for some kind of growth path? Can you talk about that a bit?
Yeah, so it really depends on what the topic is. But in every case, there is a current way of looking at that situation or the topic that they're in. There's a current lens that leaders look through. And then there's an aspirational new way of doing something. And so I help them identify what are the things, what are the milestones, what are the new muscles, what's the new awareness that needs to be built in order to move from this current way of looking at this challenge that I have to an aspirational new way. What are the muscles that need to build? It's almost like reverse engineering, right? When you have, I'm struggling in this discomfort, but I want to be over there. I want to be able to do this, or I want more of that or less of this. If you have that really well fleshed out, then you can figure out what the steps are to kind of get there and build the muscles that you need.
There are moments in coaching conversations that occur, and I know you've had lots of them, where you're having a conversation with someone and there's a pause. You've asked a question and there's a pause. And there might be a look up to the sky, and there might be a, and it's kind of a, I've never thought of it that way or never looked at it that way. And it's those moments where you recognize that new awareness has occurred. Can you talk about the role of the coach in helping to unveil, helping to surface those moments of awareness? How do you do that?
When you see the eyes go up and they're searching and searching, and all of a sudden, and they get a thing, right? All of us coaches, we're addicted to that moment. That is truly the moment of awareness. And how you get people there is by being kind of planful about how you're structuring the program. So there are certain developmental objectives that anyone with this topic would need to sort out, right? That build certain muscles. And so in that, I'm asking, let's say developmental objective number 1, I'm asking questions to kind of reveal, well, how do you currently approach that? What is the boulder in your road? What is the boulder that's getting in the way of you being able to embrace that aspirational new way?
Yeah, just to be clear for folks that are listening, that notion of developmental objective, which you've talked about as a muscle, it's that new leadership skill, that new attribute that the individual needs to bring into their collection of attributes to become a more effective leader, to make progress on that topic. So, as an example, I'm working with a couple of clients right now, both of whom are working on the muscle of recognizing their own needs and asserting themselves to represent those needs. So that might be an example. I just wanted to offer up maybe an example of one of those muscles. And as you say, it depends on what the topic is. It depends on that specific thing that the client wants to make progress on.
Well, and we have to help them. I mean, we do help them catch themselves in action, right? Doing some kind of, I describe it as being able to sit on your own shoulder as a leader. You are sitting on your own shoulder. You're watching yourself do your thing, going through, your day. You're watching yourself do that. You're watching others, right? You're being able to accurately self-assess and go, oh, there I am again. Oh, rats, I wanted to be, to be able to do this, and there I am again. And so that ability, building those muscles, building the ability to accurately self-assess, is a critical skill for leadership.